Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm Andy RC and today I'm going to be taking a look at the MJX Bugs 3 Pro. Now about 18 months ago I checked out the Bugs 3 and this one's a little bit different. So it's got bigger motors. They are a 2204 1500 kV. It's got a bigger battery, so it's a 2S 2800 milliamp proprietary battery. And it also has GPS, and the last one didn't. It's also available with a HD camera, and this transmits 5.8 gigahertz digital FPV. And you can actually buy it with or without the camera. Now, I think a slight downside is the price. It's £186 with the camera and £130 without the camera. And I think that is sort of Hubson prices, isn't it? So yeah, 1080p camera here, and it powers off the copter's battery, so you can't use it independently. It's on this little mount here, and I'm a bit concerned about that because we've got these rubber grommets here and I think they are a bit too weak, and I think it's going to give out shaky footage. And I just wonder if I can put a rubber band around there and we might get better footage with it actually not wobbling around there. But you should be able to fit a GoPro in there as well, and they give you a piece of foam to put on the back because it's slightly bigger to accept all sorts of different cameras. I think it's a 120-degree field of view on there, and yeah, it's a little bit plasticky, but actually the quality is not too bad. We have got these 7.5-inch propellers, and they give you a tool for that because they are sort of self-tightening, but it's nice that you get the tool. We've got some LEDs on the front there, and this actually detaches on a little clip there, so you can take that off. You have to fit the legs, and one thing I just want to point out is it's quite tricky getting these screws in here, so watch out for that. They give you a little screwdriver, but it's not magnetic, so that can be quite tricky. You get a spare set of props in the package, and you get the proprietary charger, and it only charges at 1 amp, so it's nearly going to be 3 hours to charge the battery to full. There's no on button, so you know it powers up as soon as you push it in, and you have to do a compass calibration every time you fly it, which is, well, that's a good thing really, I think. One thing that's great about this camera, and it's been a problem in the past when they use the 5.8 gigahertz band, is they usually choose a channel that in Europe is locked, but with this one they have given you the option to choose between 2 different channels. So we've got a little button on here that lets you select between there, and there's various ways to do that as well in the instructions. So this is the transmitter here. Oh, by the way, if you choose the non-camera option, then you don't get the follow me for some reason. So the follow me is done through the app. So this is the transmitter, and I'm glad to see that you can choose between mode 1 and mode 2. It came in mode 2, but if you hold this lock button down here when you turn the transmitter on and then press this one, you can switch between just mode 1 and mode 2. So I've done that. We've got the GPS mode here, so you can actually turn that off, but I think it's stuck in stability mode. We've got headless mode there, which I'm not going to use, and we've got some trimmers here as well. We have got the takeoff and land button, got return to home here, and we've got take a picture or start and stop video recording, and I think it takes up to a 32 gigabyte card. As I say, it records in 1080p at 24 frames per second. It says in the manual that it's 30, but it's not. It's 24 frames per second and at 7 megabit. And then we've got some fake buttons on the back, some fake antennas here, and you're given this phone holder here as well, and it takes 4 AA batteries. So the first thing that it's going to ask me to do is calibrate the compass, and so you plug the battery in and the lights will flash, and I'm going to have to turn the camera off for that, because I often find with these cheap ones the camera can interfere with the compass and you get toilet bowling, so I want to make sure that I do that properly. But it's your usual horizontal and vertical turns, and I think you can calibrate the accelerometer with both of the sticks like that. I think you can arm it with the sticks in and out, and you can also start and stop the propellers here as well with this button. So I think it's a short press to start the props and then a long press to stop. So yeah, let's see if it is any good. Okay, so everything is calibrated. Let's go for a takeoff with this guy. So sticks in the middle to arm, and then to disarm as it sticks out. Yeah, that's fine. So that's working, and then we should also be able to press this button here and then a long press to stop them. Yeah, that's working fine. So let's go up on the throttle and see what happens. This is GPS mode. Now it is flat calm here today, so there's no excuses for it moving around. That seems pretty solid to me. Let's have a look at the video. The video also looks pretty solid, although the sun is going down here. Let's have a fly about. Now the good thing about 5.8 gigahertz is that it's separate to 2.4, so even though it's digital FPV, the range should be a little bit better. Now the control range for this is apparently 600 meters, but I don't think we're going to get that out of the FPV. But GPS seems to be working nicely. I think the camera perhaps struggling just a little bit with the low light. But actually not looking too bad on the phone screen anyways. I think the fact that it's flat calm is going to help that. So if I look on the phone, it can tell me my height in meters. That's 50 meters. Controls are a little bit spongy, but I kind of expect that for a GPS copter. Yeah, the sun's still up, but it's getting dark. So there's a little slider on the side of this control, but it doesn't do anything. Let's just have it sitting there for a bit. So we've got a bit of fisheye on the camera. Seen a little bit of a wobble on the picture there. As I say, nothing too bad. Oh, getting a wobble on the descent there on the camera. So that perhaps sort of simulate what it'd be like on a windy day as it comes down. Yeah, this is nice. If I remember right, I liked the non-pro version as well. They're pretty good at this, MJX. They're quite popular as well. So let's have a look at follow me. So let's press follow me. See, once follow me function is working, the camera lens will keep pointing at the mobile phone. Oh, so it's the mobile phone's GPS, right? So okay, start follow me, yes. It's turning towards me. Let's see what happens. It's following me, yeah. A little bit of a delay, I think. But yeah, that's alright, that is. That's doing its job. Yeah, that camera is looking dark. Okay, well follow me is working. So how do I stop it? Press that again. Do I? Yeah, press it again. So easy to get out of. So what about the circle? Let's try. Let's see what it does. It sort of just circles on the spot. So it's not circling me, I'm having to sort of run in it sort of, yeah, that's not really circling anything. It's just doing a circle, just a random circle. So not as good as DJI, but not DJI money, is it? Let's just quickly try out of GPS mode. So let's see what happens there. Just shows you how flat calm it is today. Get a look at this thing, and that's with GPS mode off. So yeah, not crazy rates, but you can have fun with it. You can push it around. Actually pretty nice conditions to be showing those lights off. But if we flick it back into GPS mode, let's see what happens when we do return home. So if it is within 15 meters of where you're standing and you hit return home, it'll just land on the spot, I believe. Let's also have a look what the range is like. Yeah, getting a bit of break up there. So, you know, really, ideally, you're going to want to keep it in 100 meters, I would say, to get the best. Because it's sort of skipping a little bit, but because it's GPS, it doesn't matter that it's skipping. So yeah, can you see there, about 96 meters away. Just try and push it a little bit. Mind the tree. Yeah, there's about half a second to a second delay there. So if it loses its signal, it will return home. Pretty good, really. Okay, let's hit return home and see what happens. But yeah, I'm impressed with that video feed. You know, I only need 100 meters where I fly anyways. So really good practice, you know, for if you're wanting to move on to a DJI. So let's hit return home. Record return, yes. Is it going to gain any height? I think it's just coming straight back, but that's fine. Now I have moved from the original position, unfortunately. I should have used a landing pad. But it was around about here, wasn't it? Yeah, it was about there actually. I mean, you know, it's not a DJI, so it doesn't have optical flow, or, you know, it didn't take a picture when it took off. It sort of, yeah, it was just hovering a little bit there. But man, it's doing its job. It is. Yeah, you know, look at that, it just sort of stopped a little bit at a certain height. Let's cancel it. That's really good. That is very good. I cannot complain. And here we've got a beep there. I think that's for the battery. It's actually coming from the controller. And it says, yeah, I think it's coming from the copter. So that's what, 9 minutes at this point. They say 20 minutes, but yeah, I was messing around on the ground quite a bit, to be fair. So I changed it to mode 1, and when you change it to mode 1 you have to rebind the controller. So I had to mess around with that. Just gonna fly it around now and see what it does, I think. Because there's no actual voltage indication. That would be nice, really. We've just got bars, and there's like 2 bars. What happens if I press on the battery on the screen? Yeah, nothing happens there. What have we got in the settings here? Max flight altitude. Yeah, so it'll go up to 150 meters and max distance, so you can set that as well. Set a limit, max flight radius. Yeah, pretty decent settings. Then we've got 3D view here as well. We can get rid of the on-screen display if we want, and then you can take a picture. There is a sort of like point-to-point mode, so it'll do an autonomous flight, but I don't really have the room for that. Is that landing itself? No, I think I just got a bit too low. Yeah, so you can do waypoints, but yeah, it's not something I do with any copter. I know I should probably try to test it, but with the battery getting low like this, I just want to fly it and see at what point, you know, it should just land on the spot, like I say. If it's so it's saying, yeah, 26 meters away there. Just keep going, eh? I think it's just probably an early warning. Of course, it's probably best to land when it says, you know, as soon as you start hearing it going off. But sort of a pet peeve of mine is when they set it way too early. I can't remember what model it was, but there was one, and the alarm went off, and it was like just halfway through the flight. I think that's the case with this as well. Because just looking at the battery monitor, we got 2 bars. That camera footage is looking pretty stable. I should have pointed the camera down a little bit more, but of course then when you do forward flight, because there's no gimbal, then it looks at the ground, so that's why I did that. So you got to think about that, but really this isn't for, you know, making movies. It's really just for practicing, isn't it? Yeah, it's getting dark now. I think the sun's gone down. Sorry about the beeping, guys, but that's what it's doing. That's what it's doing. I just want to see how long it's going to fly for. It seems like, well, when did that kick in? I think it kicked in at 9 minutes. We're now at 12 minutes, so that's 3 minutes that it's done with the beep. But I can't seem to find any setting to sort of turn that down. So yeah, that's a little bit disappointing, really. Well, we've got I think, is it just going to land on the spot here? Yeah, it's coming down, because, damn it, I wonder what happens if I... Nah, it's not going to let me. It's just going to land on the spot there. Okay, stop that. And I wish it had stopped beeping, but I guess the only way to stop that, maybe turn it off. Well, there you go. That is my review of the MJX Bugs 3 Pro. I like it. You know, it's a little bit pricey when you've got the Hubsons out there, but you know, I can't really knock it. It does what it says on the tin, so I'll put a link in the description if you wish to get one. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.